Now you see some people, they're so sluggish, you know. There's no expectation and no passion and no energy. You know, she's full of energy, full of smile, right? You can see some people, they're full of energy, full of joy, full of life. So that's it. The question is, how do we get fully alive? That's the question, right? So now we know that to live fully, to live a good life, you have to be, what happened?
You
Press it
touch the
and
button. People,
Short review.
Okay,
there we go.
okay, now. So we have an idea that to be fully human is something different from just pack a day with activities, right? It's more than just buying. It has to do with really something internal that develop your human faculties, capacities. One characteristic of a fully functioning human being is freedom.
Amen.
Freedom. Last session we talked about what? We talked about getting stuck, right? How to unstuck yourself. Remember last time? That most people are not happy, not because something terrible happened to them. Many people are not happy because why? Because they're stuck in their emotional bondage. You know, they're jealous, they're hateful, and their pride. You know, they're inside the soft-made prison, emotional. They're happy within themselves. Or they're not free because they carry the burden from the past. Burden of regret for the mistake they made, the opportunity they missed. So we carry the burden, we carry the bondage. You can't be fully functioning when you wear shackles. Either the bondage, I'm entitled to my emotion, they make me happy, so I'm happy. You're gonna spend your life being miserable, that's your choice. But if you want to be fully functioning, you have to be free from this bondage, free from the burden, free from the fears, and then you're free to love, to play and work. Right? So you can't be free to love and play and work and free to enjoy life when you're like this. Quite in shackles, in bondage, or you're making. So that's one characteristic. Are you free? Do you still harbor resentment and hatred for people who have hurt you in the past? Are you still worried about what might happen to you when you get old, or when your man walk away from you? You see, all these are anxieties and fears that will cripple you. So to be fully functioning, you have to be somehow be liberated from all the bondages. To find some way to be liberated. Okay? Like Buddha talk about letting go, okay? And the Bible talk about forgiveness. There are ways that mean to let go all the things that hinder you. Okay? The other characteristic is that you really have to use your faculty of reflection. Now, throughout the lectures, I emphasize one point is that you have to stop and reflect. Okay? And stop from what you're doing. Just meditate and reflect. Ask yourself, who am I? What I'm doing here? What's really important to me? Don't wait until strategy strikes, then you start think. Many people say, I rethink my life. I reevaluate my life. I discover the purpose of my life after they got very sick or after tragic happened to their loved ones. But you don't have to wait until tragedy strikes. Right? You should be able to engage in self-reflection on those important questions that affect the future. Right? So you gotta know who you are, what you're doing, what you love doing, and why you love what you do. And those reflections are important for you to become fully human. Because only humans reflect, right? Monkeys don't reflect. Dogs don't reflect. Robots don't reflect. See, this capacity for self-reflection, say Buddhists emphasize meditation, right? And meditation is a time to look inward and reflect. Now, there's another way to look at being fully human. Now, Maslow is a very famous humanist psychologist. Now, he said about, in the beginning, we all concerned about biological needs, survival needs, food, shelter, and then we talk about psychological needs, such as esteem, relationship, loving people, being loved. And then we have self-actualization, means that you're able to fulfill your potential and realize your dreams. But finally what? At one more point, self-transcendence. Where when you're fully developed, you go beyond self to reach out to the bigger reality, high reality of loving humanity, loving God. You're able to transcend your self-interest. That's the highest development. So to be fully developed, to be fully functioning, is to reach the highest level of self-transcendence. Yes?
But I would argue that this is not necessarily a hierarchy, that you can be doing all those things simultaneously. You don't have to wait
You're right.
before you
You're
get
right.
to the next level.
So these are ideas about development. Doesn't mean they have one for another, all right? It's possible for you to, there are people who are poor, whose basic need is not met, they're still able to achieve self-transcendence, right? There are many poor monks who don't own anything, right? There are people who are suffering, physical suffering. They're still able to achieve. This is in terms of hierarchy, in terms of value, rather than step by step. Yeah. So you can skip the early one. You can still achieve the highest value. The highest value is self-transcendence. That is when you are fully human. There's another word by Irish poet, saying that the world is full of magic things waiting patiently for us, for our senses to grow sharper. He is saying that we live in a cave, right? We do not know the beauty outside the cave. Most of us are blind. I remember one movie about a Japanese bureaucrat. He every day go to work, busy worker. The movie is called Kill. So one day, when 50 years old, he discovered he had terminal cancer. And then he realized that his life is going to end. I said, I better find a way to really live happily before I die. And then he caught a bridge. He looked at sunset. He transfixed at the beauty. But every day he passed by the bridge. Every day, go to work. He saw nothing. And all of a sudden, his eyes were open. I said, oh, the world for beauty is so beautiful. His eyes are open. He finally got out of the cave. After he learned about the bad news of dying, so let's don't wait until that moment. And here, same idea. Oh, you find purpose after tragic event. Oh, don't wait until tragedy happens. Right? Why can't you evaluate your life now? Reassess your life now. Don't wait until tragic happens. And here, don't run away from pain. Don't run from tears. Be open to all the experiences. All the experiences make us stronger. So then you're not afraid anymore. The more you feel pain, the more you suffer, right? See, pain is physical. suffering is psychological. Both psychology and Buddhism all teach that you can make your pain more worse if you worry about that. Yeah. The psychology is the gate theory. But if you are relaxed about it and not to worry too much about pain, you feel less pain. So here actually fully. A happy life is not a life free from pain, free from tears, but a life where you fully embrace tears and pain. And when you make detour, that's fine, we all make mistakes. The key is going back to the right path. Right? We embrace life in totality, good and bad, they're all connected. Now here is my dual model system. Basically, there are two systems, approach and avoidance. Remember the reptile brain? The reptile brain mainly consists of approach, avoidance. Where to get food and sex and happiness, and we avoid pain. But that's the reptile brain. But at a high level, we seek not approach desires, but approach what is meaningful. Right? Avoidance, not to run away, but learn to let go and learn to transform the negative into positive. So these two systems combined, which is a good life. Get an idea now? A fully functioning person is someone who is able to transform the negative. You know, it doesn't matter what life throws at you. You don't scream, you don't complain, you take it and transform it into positive. And on the other hand, when you choose positive, you all don't just possess or get somebody desired, but ask yourself what really matters, what really meaningful. So you pursue what really matters. Combine leads to a good life. You get the idea? And here I'm saying that the best is yet to come, regardless of your age. I'm 75, older than all of you. Anybody older than I? Say I win, right? I'm still dreaming, I'm still hoping, I'm still expecting, I'm still striving, I'm still growing, I'm still learning because I'm fully alive, right? And I choose to make the rest of my life the best of my life, right? So the best still ahead of you because you choose so. Right? Not because good luck. Not because you maybe win the lottery. Not because you win the lottery, get rich, but because you choose to. Okay. Here's the end of my lecture. Thank you for attending. So you have any questions? So, yeah.
Oh, you just want to... Okay, this is Thanksgiving.
You want to stand up here?
Oh, okay.